A very good morning, dear students of class 8. Today we will continue the same chapter. The first one is the best present in the world, right? So, dear students, I think we have covered 50% of the chapters in last video, and today we will have to finish this chapter clearly, right? So, my dear students, we are taking a relay. Let's have a start of this one. The time came and all too soon, when the game was finished, the scraps and the rum and the sausages had long since run out, and we knew it was all over. I was Hans well and told him I hoped he would see his family again soon, that the fighting would end, and we could all go home. I think that's what every soldier wants on both sides, Hansworth said. Take care, Jim McPherson. I shall never forget this moment. Nor you. He saluted and walked away from me, slowly, unwillingly. I felt. He turned to me just once and then became one of the hundreds of the great coated men drifting back towards their trenches. Means, now the dispersal time has been arrived. All the sausages, rums, everything, the material that was being used for fooding purpose, that has been finished. And now the time of departure has been come. And I'm feeling very enthusiastically, and I wished Hans well. I wish he also wished me back, and I said that maybe very soon our family will be together. And after this, the fighting was end, and I thought at that time that the soldiers of the both sides wants this moment. Hansworth said, "Take care, Jim McPherson," and I shall never forget this moment. That was so memorable for me, so touchy for me that I am unable to bear this one. I am unable to forget that. And he also insisted that I think this is the requirement of each and every soldier, those who are the victim of the warfare, right? So. After some time, 100 men of the Great Coated, means all the armies of German armies were getting back to his trenches. And once Hansworth had turned around to give me another salute, and then after 100 of the numbers of the armies were getting back. That was a so memorable scene for me also. That night back in our dugouts, we heard them singing a carol and singing it quite beautifully. It was still night, silent night. Our boys gave them a rousing chorus of while shepherds watched. We exchanged carols for a while, and then we all fell silent. We had our time of peace and goodwill, a time I will treasure as long as I live. Dugout means a shelter for soldiers made by digging a hole in the ground. That means you can see inside the trenches there was a deep, narrow ditches you can say has been picked. Narrow box has been dug out. Soil from that pit has been taken out, and that is the use for the covering purpose, and that is used for protection of the armies, right? So. That night, everyone, we heard them singing in a carol. Carol means it's a sound of song. So they were singing. Everyone was in. Means that was a very explicit scene. Everyone was enjoying that moment, and they were so happy that they were singing, and we are able to hear that songs, right? And after some time, now all around there was a peace, right? So dearest Connie, by Christmas time next year, this will be nothing but a distant and terrible memory. I know from all that happened today how much both armies long for peace. We shall be together again soon. I am sure of it. Your loving Jim. Now at the last paragraph of the letter, what was written? It was the sensational message for that maybe what happened in the next Christmas Eve. That is untold. That may be the more terrible. But what happened today is unable to forget. What army had done is unable to forget, and maybe we'll be together. Okay, your loving John. Now I folded the letter again and slipped it carefully back into the envelope. I kept awake all night. By morning I knew what I had to do. I drove to Bridport, just a few miles away. I asked the boy walking his dog where Copper Beaches was. House number 12 turned out to be nothing but a worn out cell, the roof gapping, the windows boarded up. I knocked at the house next door and asked if anyone knew the whereabouts of Mrs. Macpherson. Oh yes, said the old man in his slippers. He knew her well. A lovely lady, old lady, he told me, a bit muddle-headed, but at her age she was entitled to be, wasn't she? 101 years old. She had been in the house when it caught fire. No one really knew how the fire had started, but it could well have been candles. She used candles rather than electricity because she always thought electricity was too expensive. The fireman had got her out just in time. She was in a nursing home now. He told me Burlington House on the Douglas Road on the other side of the town. Now, after reading this letter, I just folded all the letters and put it into the envelope, right? And now what I had to do, I knew very well, and I have decided to hand over the letters to the actual owner of the actual authority of this letter, and that's why I started to move towards the Bridport and house number 12, Copper Beaches, right? I asked a boy and who was able to tell me about, and when I asked about the address, someone who has given me complete information about Mrs. Jim Mack, right? He had given me additional information that the house had been burned into fire, and ultimately, anyhow, she has been rescued. She has been rescued. That's why, my dear students, anyhow, she was saved, and she was admitted into a nursing house, into a nursing room, and this was situated in Burlington House and on the Augusta Road. It was another side of the town. My dear student, I think you are getting all the points. So you will make a revision again and again. If you are unable to get any points, then you can ask me personally, right? I found Burlington House nursing home easily enough. There were paper chains up in the hallways and a lighted Christmas tree stood in the corner with a lopsided angel on the top. I said I was a friend come to visit Mrs. Macpherson to bring her Christmas present. I could see through into the dining room where everyone was wearing a paper hat and singing. The matron had a hat on too and seemed happy enough to see me. She even offered me a midpipe. She walked me along the corridor. Mrs. Macpherson is not in with the others. She told me she is rather confused today, so we thought it best if she had a good rest. She has no family, no one visits, so I'm sure she will be only too pleased to see you. She took me into a conservatory with the wicker chairs and potted plants all around and left me. Means it was very easy for me to find out the Burlington nursing home easily, and there were the paper chains all in the hallways and the lighted Christmas trees. Means it was a very fine landscape was there all around. There was a beauty spread. Okay, and one could see into the dining room where everyone was wearing a paper hat and singing, and means that was a very even you can say very enthusiastic sight was there, right? And she has no family, and no one visits to us. So I am sure that she will be only too pleased. That means if you will accompany a person who is living lonely, so that will be beneficial for him, right? And she took me into a conservative with wicker chairs. Means he was seated over the chair, and the chair that can move from one place to another, that can be used for the handicapped person, right? And potted plants all around me, and he left me. He left me alone for some time. The old lady was sitting in a wheelchair, her hands folded in her lap. She had silver white hair pinned into a wispy bun. Bun means the cluster of hairs that was pasted over backside of the brain. Right? She was gazing out at the garden. Hello, I said. She turned and looked up at me vacantly. Happy Christmas, Connie. I went on. I think it's yours. As I was thus speaking, her eyes never left my face. I opened the tin box and gave it to her. That was the moment her eyes lit up with the recognition, and her face became suffused with a sudden glow of happiness. I explained about the desk, about how I had found it, but I don't think she was listening. For a while, she said nothing but stroked the letter tenderly with her fingertips. Suddenly she reached out and took my hand. Her eyes were filled with tears. You told me you would come home by Christmas, dearest, she said, and here you are. Just best Christmas present in the world. Come closer, Jim, dear, sit down. When I was taken there with by that one, and I had seen Mrs. Jim McPherson, that was the old lady who was sitting in a wheelchair, and her hands were folded on her lap, and there was a wispy bun. When I said hello, he turned around and had a look on me, and I started reading the letters, the first line, and I had given the brief information that this was the letter written by his husband. And I was given all the information. I was given the information regarding this also, and I was given the information that how I was able to find out this letter. Right? So she was not saying anything, but she was continuously having a look over those letters, and suddenly she jerked and reached to me, and what she was saying that you had told that you will come, and finally here you are. Jim, come closer dear and sit down. I sat down beside her and she kissed my cheek. I read your letters so often, Jim. Every day I wanted to hear your voice in my head, and it always made me feel you were with me. And now you are. Now you are back. You can read it to myself. Would you do that for me, Jim dear? I just want to hear your voice again. I would love that so much. And then perhaps we shall have come something. I have made you a nice Christmas cake, marzipan all around. I know how much you love marzipan. Dear student, when the writer sat beside Mr. Jim McPherson, she kissed on his cheek, and what she was continuously saying, she was saying that she was waiting for the letter. She wanted to hear Jim's voice, and now here Jim was, so he can read the letter for her. And now means whatever that statement that she can make for an affection, she had done. Right? So she was just feeling so excited. She was just feeling so happy. She was just so overjoyed that she was unable to bear his happiness, and continuously she was just being close towards the writer, and that was so. I just think that this is the best, or this is the best Christmas present for anyone, and dear Moni, that was just the best gift. And my dear student, I think the story has been finished, and you all are getting every point after the this story has been finished, right? And if you are getting any problem, then you can consult. Today you will be provided as your question answer as your homework. So write it clearly, and whenever it will be called, whenever it will be necessary, you will come and you will take it, right? So we will meet in next video session tomorrow.